Hello, everyone. This is the Green Tambourine Tarot. We are back. Finally, we are back with another video. And I thank you guys so much for your patience. And we've been gone for a little bit, but not too long. And our reading is for today is, what message does the divine have for you? And I'm going to be using a single card deck today. This is what I was feeling that we needed to do. So if I feel led to do that, then that's the route we will go. And let's get started. We're going to have 3 piles today, and we're going to have 4 cards from the pile. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with actually pulling out. So you can choose pile 1, 2, or 3. So we'll have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And if you, at this point, it's going to really be based on your choosing with your intuition. And we will have some crystals for you to choose from as well. So I will have those ready for you too. So I'm going to go ahead and just put down the 4 cards for you. So that way we have each for each pile. All right, so this pile number. Okay, all right. Wow, so we got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm gonna put these with this. I felt like that came with that. This one, and all right. So the overall energy for this entire reading is going to be the jeweled web or connectivity. So it's really going to be about your connecting with the divine, and that is what I'm really feeling. So there's a huge connection. I just felt this morning that I needed to do a reading for the collective on some love that the divine has for you. Let's get started with pile number 1. If you want to choose with a crystal, we have the yellow jade for pile number 1. Pile number 2, we have the amethyst. And with pile number 3, we have the sodalite. All right, so you can pick from pile number 1, 2, or 3. And let's get started with pile number 1 with a message of love from the divine. All right, pile number 1, you chose the yellow jade, and we have a message from the divine for you of love. So the first card is, I'm going to pull it from the bottom, skywriting, the fates. Second card is Spirit of the River, movement toward adventure. Third card is what the stars in the sky, limitless possibility. And finally, vanishing mirror, ego sublimation. Sublimation. I always say sublimation, but it's sublimation, you guys. Oh my goodness. Okay. So these are your 4 cards. Okay, so when I'm first looking at this spread, the one thing that I noticed is that we shuffled, and I shuffled all the cards, but these all came out together, right? So you have 49, 50, 51, and 58. So from this, the first message that I see is that your life is actually a series of steps. And I think the whole skywriting or the fates card came out first because it's almost like your life is divinely ordered and orchestrated. And then it's going to make a big step forward. So you are going to go from, it's almost like 7 steps. So it's like it is a step of completion. The thing that movement towards adventure. See, that's like the fates, movement toward adventure, limitless possibility, ego sublimation. So it's almost like there is going to be a journey here, even with this bridge that's sitting here, that there's limitless possibility for you. I think that this is a beautiful message just to even start and to ask your question, or the divine wants you to understand about the skywriting and the fates. It's just that it's really asking you to begin your journey, or to think about critically right now how you can practice non-judgment. And I think a lot of the loving message is, for a lot of you, you are the messenger of the divine. And so with that being said, there needs to be a moment for you right now where you have to explore certain aspects of your life that's unique to you and you alone. And so it may be right now that you are in a situation where you have been removed from a lot of people around you. You may feel like you don't have as many friends as you've had lately, but the truth of the matter is that the loving message that the divine has for you is that it's orchestrated. So just remember, it's these steps that you'll be taking to get to that big jump, or to that final destination for you. It's almost like a jumping off, and it's going to move pretty quickly, like 7 days or 7 weeks or something like that. So you don't have to wait as long anymore. And for some of you, this could be something that's going to be happening for you by the end of the year. This doesn't predict, just because you have a huge destiny, it doesn't mean that you won't have challenges. But the thing that the divine wants you to know is that it's your path, and there are parts of your path that cannot be changed and must be radically accepted as they are, so that when you are faced with aspects of your life that aren't perfect, that you will accept the imperfection of it. Because some of you have been promised, you feel like you've been told that you were chosen. You've been told by the spirit you're chosen. You've been told by your spirit guides. There are people that have come up to confirm that you have a big mission, and that there is something that God is going to bless you with. But it just seems like there are a lot of obstacles in your way. But the truth of the matter is that no one's life is going to be perfect. So if you can accept what happens and with non-judgment, the thing is that sometimes we get disappointed because we judge the outcome, or we judge the journey. Once you master the skill of non-judgment, you open yourself up to be able to be unencumbered by the burdens of your fears, and you can look ahead to a beautiful future for yourself. So right now you may be facing a critical moment in time, and this is going to be an opportunity for you to expand your influence and your capacity for abundance, love, and purposeful action. So now is your chance to really leap into it. And whether or not this is a heart connection, whether it's a new job, whether it's creativity, you are being encouraged to greet whatever comes to you with non-judgment. So as you go on your journey, your next part of your journey is the spirit of the river, or your movement towards adventure. So the divine is letting me know that if you take that route of non-judgment, what will happen for you next is that you will have your movement towards your next adventure. Like, it's going to move fast. That's going to be the key to your fast movement, is by your accepting things as they come and not judging them like this is right or this is wrong. Sometimes we have, and I'm speaking directly to someone specifically, there have been times in your life where you have judged things in your life as right or wrong. The divine is asking you to receive what happens to you with a non-judgment eye. And just know that it is getting you towards, every step you take forward is a step that's going to move you towards your destiny. So don't just sit because something has happened to you that you deem wrong. Don't just sit there. Keep moving your feet. Keep moving towards your destiny. Okay? This Spirit of the River card, once you actually start to not judge what happens to you, this is asking you to actually stop working on your quote unquote problems for a while. Because this issue or these issues that you have are not necessarily what it seems. It is for some of you, you are addicted to fixing what has gone bad, and that is consuming too much of your time. So the goal, especially when this card comes out, that is what this really means. And your goal is to work to create a greater good, and the bad will resolve itself on its own. So if you stop judging what is good or bad and you're trying to go back and fix what is bad, focus on what is good. So focus on what is good and create something that is for the greater good, and don't worry about the bad. It's going to work out on its own, and there's nothing that you can accomplish with more efforting, as the situations in your life right now are subject to forces beyond your control, which is why the divine is asking you to move forward without judgment, because there are going to be some things that are going to happen that you can't control. And so you're just asked to focus on, what can I do for the greater good? That whole thing, or the whole bad or fears that I have, all that stuff is going to work out on its own. I just need to keep moving my feet forward, which is why you have the 49, 50, 51, because it's like, keep taking your steps forward. Okay. There's no loss of face or lack of honor or integrity. It is simply the way things are at this moment. So don't let anybody make you feel like, because something has happened in the past for you, that maybe you are somebody who had life issues happen, and that is why the divine is telling you that I want you to move forward in love. I don't care. God doesn't judge us like people judge us. There have been some people who are watching this right now, and you've been told that you are a bad person. You've been told that you are horrible. You've been told that now this is just for some people. If this does not resonate with you, you have to take what resonates. But I'm speaking specifically to the person who does not have love in their life. And the divine is telling you that you have love, that there is love, but your goal now is to focus on the greater good and let that other stuff fall away. The fear of what people say, the judgment of others, the judgment of yourself. Just drop the judgment, and it's time for you to say yes to the next leg of your journey. That is what this is saying. You have something that's coming up, and these cards came out in this order for a reason. This card specifically is time for you to say yes to the next leg of your journey. Your life is like a river, inevitably and inexorably flowing to the sea. That is your divine destination. It's almost like water. Water is life. Water is made, as we have learned in school. So that's what we learned in school. So that's what I'm going to go with. The mountains, it rains, the water freezes. The mountain in the spring, the water, or the rivers, I should say, flow into the sea. So it forms rivers that come down out of the mountain that flow down into the sea. And then, the sea forms the clouds, it forms the rain, it goes. So that's the cycle that we have been taught. Okay. If we're looking at it from that aspect, then what this is saying is the spirit of the river is what this card is about. So the spirit of the river is what takes that life down from the mountains into the valleys and out into the sea. So you are flowing right now. That is why, and your river could be rapidly moving right now. Your life is rapidly moving right now, which is why you are being encouraged to be fearless and release yourself to the rushing water in the middle of the stream. Whatever it is that you are holding on to, the feelings, the thoughts, the beliefs about how things are or how they should be, can be fixed easily with the power of the spirit of the river. So by channeling or thinking about or visualizing how a river flows. So not necessarily sometimes a spirit of the river from the standpoint of it is a deity. That's not what this is saying. What I'm feeling is look at nature as a guide. How does nature flow? The river does not have time to slow down for one rock or slow down for one canoe that God put in it or one thing that may or may not be right. The river is going to flow and it's going to move forward. And that is what the divine is asking you to do at this time in your life. Whatever it is that you're holding on to, feelings about people, thoughts that don't honor yourself. Because when you honor yourself, you honor God. Don't ever let somebody tell you who they think you are because they didn't create you. That is what the Spirit is having me share with you, is that they did not create you, so they cannot determine your destiny or who you are or whatever you've done in your past and how that is going to affect you now. That has no effect. You were created for a purpose, a big purpose, and that is why this card came out first. Simply let go and enjoy the thrill of the ride. The divine wants you to know that all will be well. This is sometimes I hear that your spirit guides want to share something with you, but today it was more so, this is a message from the divine specifically to you about his love for you. When I say his love, some people are like, the divine is a he or she. And, I learned that God is. And so that is why you will hear me say that. Okay. All right. Stars in the sky. And that is one of the reasons why you should actually not have judgment. Take the words for what they are. So take the words for what they are. So even if somebody says, well, God is it's time now for us to let go of all of the labels and just focus. Just because I'm saying he, that does not mean that you cannot receive this message. That is a complete example right there of how you can not lead with judgment and how I can now stop apologizing for that and just move forward. So I will take the advice of this pile as well as I go on. So you will hear me say that on my channel. I'm just telling you that if you're going to rock along for the ride, that is what it is. And it's okay until God tells me otherwise. Okay. All right. Stars in the sky. So your limitless possibility. The thing is that what do you need to change in order to improve the jump from here to here? Okay. If you can imagine that where you are right now is only a small glimpse of what is actually in the universe, that God's love is so big. And if you look at this card, it actually shows you the connection. I don't know if you can see the two things coming up out of its hand as it's sitting meditating. That's the individual sitting there meditating. It's like the world is so vast and so are your opportunities. It's now time for you to embrace where you're going on your journey so that you can receive these limitless opportunities coming for you, because this is the time of limitless possibilities in the world, of the never-ending sea of potential that you yourself are made of and you now have at your disposal. So this is talking about once you have experienced this is where you're going. So this you will know as you keep moving your feet. So don't get bogged down in bad situations trying to fix what doesn't work. Release what doesn't work so that you can go on. Your life right now is alive with possibility and needs your clear focus to hone in on what avenue of exploration that most calls to you. It's time to choose and not be distracted by the sheer magnitude of what may be. So don't get overwhelmed of what may be. Just really choose and focus, because you're never going to choose the wrong path. It may seem like there's no right or wrong. You just chose a path. I know people are like, oh, you got to make sure you choose the right path. And that's so much pressure for people, but that's not how the divine operates. You're going to get there. Think about Jonah and the whale. If you're looking for a story from the Bible, there is Jonah and the whale. And like I said, you're judging. Try not to judge where the message comes from, and listen to it for how it can help you. So with Jonah and the whale, Jonah did not want to go to Nineveh. He ended up going to Nineveh anyway. So he got on a boat. He tried to go that way, and the boat started, going crazy, and everybody was like, they threw Jonah off. Jonah got swallowed up by the whale, and he ended up in Nineveh anyway. So the thing is that you won't choose a wrong path. Somebody will say, well, maybe he chose the wrong path first because he did this. You will still make it there, whether you want to smell like fish getting there, or if you want to get there when the way you were supposed to get there, you're still going to get there. So don't worry about that. The universe has its own ideas of how best to serve you and all of us at the same time. So trust that this is a fact rather than a theory, and you ought not act surprised when your dreams come true, for they surely will, exactly how you need them to be, not how you want them to be, but how you need them to be. If you can imagine that you take small steps and small movements toward your potential and bringing your potential into reality, if you can imagine this and visualize this and hold on to your vision of what this big dream that God has shown you, if you hold on to it as you go along, surely it can happen and will happen for you. One of the ways that you can improve your situation, and I guess not necessarily improve it from the standpoint of you're focusing on how to improve the bad, because we already talked about letting go of the bad and focusing on the greater good. What this means is letting go of self-centeredness and becoming a vessel of possibility. You might be defining yourself a little too rigidly, and you've been fixed around what you've come to learn, so that you contract your life, and you've contracted your life into safe zones, where it's like, this here is okay, but over there, well, that might be too risky. Judgment, fear, self-righteousness, and overconfidence are only some of the traits that keep you from evolving. So this is so funny that all these cards came out to give you this message. You really have, and I can visualize, it's almost like it's like this vast open path for you to take, but it's like, well, I don't know if I really want to take this path, because if I do this, it looks cold out there, it's uncharted, I'm not, it looks desolate. But the truth of the matter is that it's just an illusion. You just need to keep walking. Doesn't mean that it won't be difficult, but this is why your message from the divine has come out for you about the loving message is for you to focus on the greater good, let go of what doesn't serve you, allow yourself to just float once you get out there into the river and just flow. Your life is flowing very quickly right now. And so the thing is to accept what comes, look at it in love, drop what does not serve you, and try not to fix what's going bad, and just focus on the greater good. You will recognize yourself as what you are, a partner in co-creation and service to the divine. So if you look into the mirror now and you see only what you are now, you can let your self-definition soften a bit. Because when you look in the mirror, the thing that you should see is that you are a co-creator with the divine. In some aspects, people will say, well, I am a child of God. If you are a child of the divine, or if you are a part of this divine tapestry, then you have every right to see yourself in the same light that the divine sees you, which is an expression of life and love. Light, love, and light is how you should always look at yourself. I am a vessel of light and love and divine. If there is a way to look at yourself and in a mirror and see. So stand in a mirror, look at yourself and say, what would, if I could move the veil beyond and look at who I am as a potential, a magical emptiness that can exist where all things are possible. If I look at myself not as just myself, but as my potential, as my being the river, what would I see reflected back if I allowed myself to be other than how I define myself now? Nothing less is required of you. Once you get to this place, nothing less will be required of you right now. It's just see yourself in a different way. Stop judging situations as right or wrong and just keep going with the flow and move forward. So that is your message, which try to end with a couple of empowering statements. And for some of you, just remember that the law of attraction, relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of energies. So just remember that that's going to start changing for you. The people, as I said in the beginning, there are going to be some people who you will have to release so that you allow yourself to move like the river. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you are less loving or that that these people are bad or good. It's just that you have to free yourself so that you can flow and look at and help create the greater good or co-create with the divine in your life. So you are an indigo, meaning you're a highly sensitive, natural born leader. And when you are a highly sensitive, natural born leader, you have to be able to go with the flow. And look at all these indigo cards. I thought that was really interesting because not all of, wow. Oh my goodness. I just thought about that. Look, all of these cards are blue. Not all the cards in this deck are blue, but all of these are indigo cards. And that should tell you right there that you are, these are all like divine third eye. Like you are really intuitive, and it is time for you now to really focus on your mission. Wow. That all the cards in this deck are not, you're going to see that all the cards in this deck are not blue, but that just goes to show right there. Man, I got goosebumps on that one. All right. So what are two final things that the Spirit wants me to share with you is, okay. Earth Angel, you are a light worker who has come to Earth to teach about love. Wow. Exactly what we just said. Exactly what we just said. And Twin Flame, the answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. So for some of you, this is a joining of a spiritually based romantic relationship. So this is why you probably need to let go, because the end result for you and the potential for you is it's going to involve. So let's ask how. So how does this, let's answer this question. How does this involve a spiritually based romantic relationship? What does that have to do with it? Oh, it says to see yourself doing well in this situation and have faith in a positive outcome. So you need to visualize what this, for some of you, because this is a general reading, for some of you, this is a twin flame situation, and you need to visualize yourself in success and have faith in a positive outcome. All right, you guys, and for some of you, it could be about work, but it resonated with you. The parts that did resonate with you, you will know. Okay, so thank you guys so much. Pile number one, I hope you have an amazing day, and I wish you all the best. Hi, pile number two. We are going to find out a message of love for you from the divine. When I say love, I don't mean necessarily that it is a romantic love. What I'm saying is that this is a message of love from the divine to you. So that is what this is about, okay? All right, so let's get started with your reading, and I'm going to go ahead and put down the cards. So I started from the bottom with pile number 1. So I'm going to do it again with pile number 2. So this is 36, lost in space, needing direction. The root girl, the disowned self. It's your second card. Many masks, the authentic self. So I see how this is all coming out because there were a couple more cards that came out. Pile number 1 had 4 cards, I think. And you guys had 5. So I'm going to try to see if I can push this up some, which I can. And all right. So card number 4 for you is Stranger Curiosity. And then you have Joyful Muse Inspiration, which is your final card. Okay. So I'm going to just put that right here. I'm trying to see where I can get it where you can see it. There we go. All right. Okay, so let's get started with the message that the divine has for you. I'm going to make sure I straighten it up. All right. All right, so let's, pile number 2, let's look at what specific message, again, the divine has for you in terms of his or its love for you. So this is really kind of underlining what I've already said about what the divine, how the divine feels about you. The whole feeling lost, this lost in space card and needing direction, a 24-hour day. So sometimes in life, we lose our way, perhaps falling prey to addictive behaviors and comparison, jealousy, resistance, or fear. For most of you, I'm feeling that this is comparison. It's like you're comparing yourself to others. And it's really a situation where some of you are trying to seek validation from outside sources. A part of you is hiding in and wants to, there's a part of you that to keep you where you are sometimes sabotages. So you have some self-sabotaging there to keep you where you think you're supposed to be and to keep you in your comfort zone, because your comfort zone is where mediocrity lies. And the divine has come to you today, directly today, because that is what I heard. It's like, no, I want to send a message of love to specifically to each of you. I know this is a general reading, but I would hope that you would hope, and I should say not but but I hope that you would take this as a message from the divine and your guardian angels that you are loved and that you have no reason to be afraid of what can happen for you. Okay? You may find yourself currently feeling like your inner world no longer feels safe or inhabitable because you find that your thoughts and beliefs have morphed beyond what you recognize them to be. You may not even recognize yourself. So you are actually being asked to, because you're kind of feeling like you're lacking direction, is to give yourself a 24-hour fast on, and what I mean by that is a 24-hour fast on thinking and life visioning, and just allow yourself to, when you feel that you are in a spot where you're overthinking about your life, you're trying to do too much, just get centered by breathing, putting your hand on your heart, just counting your breaths. That will keep you present. So for 24 hours, you're being encouraged to simply just be present, not worry about yesterday, not worry about tomorrow. Just be present right now. Don't think about your flaws, your mistakes, how your past has held you captive, and just take heart that the simple 24-hour time that you are just being present, how that will banish away all of these thoughts of what is going to happen for you. I think that right now, conserve your energy and take care of you in a basic, fundamental way, and the world for you will be right again. Because I think that that is what is really happening, or that is what is really going on with you, pile number 2, is that you feel like there's so much going on in your mind. And that's what, basically, that is what the cards are actually underlining. Sometimes the cards are just confirmation of what you already know. And with the root girl, once you take this 24-hour sabbatical, there's some other things that before you do that, the message that you need to know today is that there is a tree of, let's say for instance, this tree is the tree of self. Okay. And the root girl, which, let me see if you can see her. I'll see. Hold on here. I see. So if you can see, this is the face of a little girl right here. Okay. So that is the face of a little girl who is sitting at the base of a tree, and the tree is representing you. And she feels like she is unloved, unwanted, and shunned for her deformities. How many of us feel like, see, we may not be deformed on the outside. Outside, we may be fine. Some of us outside, we probably look like we have it all together. But on the inside, the only person that really knows what's going on the inside is you and your connection with the divine and the angels and everything that is connected to you from the inside. But she feels like, when you were talking about this root girl, she has no home but is safe burrowing underground to dwell near the deepest roots of the sacred tree. So who is this root girl to you? Could this urchin, which is what it's being called, be the one part of you that reintegrated can lead you to wholeness and true purpose? This is a part of you, the embodiment of a deeply flawed perception of your failures manifesting as guilt and shame. So this is a very flawed perception of yourself. This is why you're being asked to just take 24 hours and stop thinking about that. Gosh, when you project envy onto others, or any emotion or instinct that you've learned to repress or deem unnatural, it's this homeless child crying for attention, acceptance, and love. You want to lash out, ignore it, push it aside, all the while refusing to acknowledge that this ugly quality belongs to you. So this is exactly what I'm saying. When the divine first spoke to us about your situation, the whole thing with jealousy is just you feel ashamed, and it's like it's a distorted view. You have been given a vision of how your life is supposed to be, and it's not happening yet. So you're seeing things happen all around you, and your views are distorted because it could be somebody in your family, somebody in your life who's doing something that perhaps you want to do, and you're like, well, you told me I was going to do that, God. It's almost like, why isn't my stuff happening for me? And the truth is that everybody's journey and time is different. And so just because it's not happening for you right now doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And the divine is asking you to release and acknowledge that that might be what's going on with you, so that you can actually release and love on that part of yourself that needs love. But as of right now, for the next 24 hours, you're being asked to stop thinking about all of it. and just be present, and it will release itself from your life. It's time to welcome this part of you that may be broken into your heart. So when you do, everything you've been searching for will become illuminated, and your path will light up with renewed purpose. So that is why you're being asked to look at this part of yourself and give yourself just a 24-hour fast from overthinking. That's very interesting. I love that. For some of you too, you may have been told that you are not good enough, or you have some guilt and shame that needs to be released. During this 24-hour time that you will just manifest or meditate, I should say. And meditation can just be, or being present, is just holding your hand on your heart and just breathing whenever you start thinking about, man, this doesn't happen for me. Put your hand on your heart. Just breathe. Take 3 to 5 breaths. There are different kind of breathing techniques that you can use, and you can search those on the internet for some breathing techniques for yourself, which I think would be helpful as well during your 24 hours. I think that even after you read this, even if you start now while you're reading this or while you're listening to this reading, that will really help. Your authentic self, energizing your internal allies and making a conscious shift is your next step. Everyone wears a mask at some point. And I'm not just talking about Halloween masks or, masks that you wear for ceremonies. It's just like when you wear masks to cover up and protect who you really are right now. And you're really wearing a mask, and that allows you to belong so that you can remain within the confines of what is expected. Masks are not bad, and they provide you a opportunity to express your soul. So some of us, and what I mean by that is, like, if you put on a mask, I don't know if you guys have in your country, there's a show here called The Masked Singer in America, and people put on these costumes and these masks, and then they are able to sing, and their job might not be to be a singer, but it's like they are free to be who they really are in terms of what gifts. They're not afraid of judgment because they have a mask on, so they're protected from being judged because people don't know who they are. So they can really sing sing as greatly as they can. And because they have this gift, they might be a skateboarder or a professional athlete. They don't have, singing is not what they're known for. But in this instance, you've been probably wearing some masks to hide certain aspects of your personality so that you can be accepted. And the whole thing of where you see the drama here is that when you have on this mask, sometimes you're jealous because there are other people in your life who are free to be who they are, and you feel like, gosh, I'm not even free to be who I am, and then that's kind of where you get caught up in this whole energetic cycle of feeling like you really can't be yourself. And so then you self-sabotage when you have the opportunity to be yourself, because then that puts you right back in where you're in this, like, not a karmic loop, but it's like just a loop of you're putting yourself back to your comfort zone. Your comfort zone right now is not being who you yourself, not feeling like your dreams can come true, and relying on other people for self-validation. What do you think about this? Do you like this dress? I just, I don't know. What do you think? It's really what you think. And the divine is here to tell you that it's time for you to take your 24 hours, get yourself back centered so that you can move forward, and not worry about what other people think about your choices, your decisions, because you have some really big decisions that are going to be coming. Let me see, Holy Spirit, is there anything else that you want them to know? Through trial and error, you're going to discover more and more about who you want to become. What would it feel like to explore this side of you? Anything is possible if you're willing to open up to your potential. You truly can move beyond the barriers that society has set for you. Use your imagination and step into the magic of who you can really be. How will you know what you love and what you resonate with if you don't take off the mask you've always worn and test drive some new ones? Your authentic self and your authentic essence will never change. It will only express itself differently through these optional selves. So you can be, let's think about the singer. There's a singer, Beyonce, here. And I know a lot of people will probably know her worldwide. But the one thing that resonates with her is she has this alter ego called Sasha Fierce. And her alter ego is who she presents herself to be on stage, because in real life, she's really shy. So she becomes Sasha Fierce so that she can get out on the stage and perform. And that helps her. That's a mask that allows her to be her authentic self. So her authentic self is Sasha Fierce. But if she tries to come in there as the root girl, which is the shy, broken part of herself, or the shy part of herself, I'm not going to say it's broken, but the shy part of herself, she has to put on her mask to be Sasha Fierce so that she can really, truly bring out her true essence. So it's not like you have to fully let go of masks, but let go of the ones that don't really serve you. The ones that say you're always going to be shy, you're always this way, you're always that way. You're like, no, I'm going to be my authentic self, and that's the true face that I'm going to put on. That's the true face that I'm going to share with the world. Okay, I wanted to get this card that talked about the jewel web, the connectivity, because I think that that's important for this specific reading especially. And it was for all the readings, because this is the overall energy for the reading. But I wanted to talk about the stranger card, because as you start to let go of these beliefs that you have, the trying to fit in, the trying to look and be like everyone else, there's going to be a stranger that's going to come into your life with a different point of view. So this is why you're being encouraged to take that thinking fast, or that, and I shouldn't say fast because then you feel like you're missing out on something, but taking 24 hours just to stop, allowing your body a reset, allowing your mind a reset, and staying centered and focused. So if by your having the stranger come in, they're going to have a different point of view than what you're used to. You can always follow your heart, though, to make sure that this is why you need to be able to reset, so that you can accept and see that there may be a different point of view. Do I have to go down that road? But it allows you to just start thinking and seeing things from a different point of view. But your heart will tell you the right way. But there's something extraordinary that's going to be offered to you if you remain curious and teachable. So allow the newness to envelop you as you explore the possibilities. This is a departure from your expectations, but the stranger has come to invite you to dance to a new music, a new tempo, a new sensation that will add more dimension to you and what you create as a result. Now is the time to leave room for other points of view, other ways of seeing with humility and grace. This is going to be a defining moment for you, pile number 2, and you're being challenged to take the risk. Life is like a precious diamond with many facets, not just one. And that is why you have this jeweled web of connectivity, because we're all divine lights on this journey, and connecting with the light, saying that this might be something different. If it is light centered, you will know. You will also be able to know this is why you're being challenged to lean into your heart. Because once you lean into your heart, when the stranger comes, you'll know what to take, what information and what person is the exact stranger that you need to learn whatever this teachable moment is for you. Because if you seek outside validation, everybody's going to give you their opinion, but the divine will guide you in the right way. You just have to have the confidence that I'm going to be guided in the right way, and not actually share everything with all these people that you have been sharing stuff with before. Go, take the risk. Let's see what this person has to say. Do I have to accept it? No, but you need to make that decision yourself, not rely on the people you have been relying on all the rest of this time to ask questions of should I do it or not. I was thinking about this, the whole if you is, I don't know if you've seen Tom and Jerry cartoons. It's the old cartoon series where he says, is you is or is you ain't my baby. I think about that with this because it's like, I don't know why that came up for me. It's just like, you should not worry about what people think about your decisions, because your decisions are your own. And it's not anyone else's business, because they didn't come here to live your life. You came here to live your life. And that is what the divine wanted me to share with you. It's time for you to become more playful and to have joy in your life. You have even become boring to yourself. And even as others continue to find you interesting, you're and that's showing up here as well. It's like you've been putting on this mask, you've been trying to make sure you feel accepted by everybody, but that's really not who you are. And that part of your life is such a challenge for you because you have been wearing masks. So this is the time when darkness prevails and the future seems, sour to you. And it's time for you to embrace your gifts and be playful without being silly, and invite the child in you, that root girl, invite the root girl or root boy in you to come out for a play date. And they will help you return to your innate innocence, the place of never been there, never done that. Even if it is the same routine you wake up to every morning, this is why you're being asked to have this reset in your life, and just go with the flow. I actually have some, I hope this helps you, pile number 2 on your journey. The whole thing is just to allow yourself to be inspired even by your walk to work. I see somebody walking to work, and you might be walking into the door, but you've never noticed that there were flowers all around and what the flowers smell like, or just all the beauty that is all around you to help you on your reset. There's so much greatness around you, and the stranger in terms of somebody who's going to come to teach you or show you a different way and how to bring out your true self or your true essence, they're going to come for you. So, wow, we got this card. Ask Archangel Michael to clear any old attachments to fear that stem from past relationships, freeing you from destructive patterns. So you're being challenged to cut your cords with all of these people that you were always trying to take advice and please and take advice from, people please with, worried about what people are going to think of you. Some of you have global ministries. Interesting that you, and it could be something that you have something on YouTube. You have a YouTube channel. And you're worried about whether or not people will accept you for whatever gifts you bring to the table. And once you do this 24 hours of just self-centeredness, I think that will help you to just release that. Emotional sensitivity. Honor and respect your deep sensitivity, as it is a gift to us all. And don't allow it to be considered to be a deformity for you. And just hold your inner child. There was there's an app that I use, and in that app they have like different classes and workshops, and one of those was for you to just embrace your inner child and visualize yourself rocking the hurt away, your older self rocking your inner child until they felt safe and secure. And I thought that that's a great way to visualize. That could be something that you could use as well, is to visualize yourself rocking your inner self to sleep, or just rocking away your inner hurt. And finally, your crown chakra. Pay attention to your ideas, as they are messages of true divine guidance sent in answer to your prayers. So pay attention to these ideas as they come up to you as you are starting to do your reset, because those are your true messages, and you don't need validation from anybody on whether or not they're right or wrong. If your messages are from the divine, just know that you are truly blessed to be able to have the opportunity to have inspiration from the divine. Oh, awesome. Express yourself and awaken your psychic senses through the magical power of music and movement. So sing and dance. This is still talking about your being able to bring out your inner child. All right. Thank you guys so much. Pile number 2, and I wish you all the best on your journey. Have a blessed. Okay. Hi, pile number 3. We have 4 cards for you. And just like everyone else, I pulled from the top, but this time I'm feeling like the bottom, but this time I think I need to pull from the top. So the cards are still going to be in. So this is Straddling Worlds, Wandering Between Realms, Unmarked Trail with Revelation, Skybridge, Possibility for Union. That's interesting how straddling between 2 worlds, unmarked. Do you see how these all kind of look like there's some kind of path? And then this is also a path between 2 worlds. So this is like this is talking about the flight that you take between 2 worlds. Wow. Sky Bridge, Unmarked Trail, and finally, Horseman, Herald of Change. Interesting. All right, so let's get into your reading. The whole thing with the Straddling Worlds, before I begin, wanted to share with you just something that just happened. So something that I was using fell in the trash can, and it was something that was important, and I was like, okay, well, this is important. Why did this fall into the trash can, right? And I think that this is a true indication that what was important to you, and this is, that's how the divine speaks to me. It's like something will happen while I'm doing a reading or right before reading to show me an example of what the overall sense of what this reading might be talking about comes forward. So specifically for you, it is talking about the straddling worlds is not necessarily just about the physical world and the world of the divine. What this is also talking about, and when this card comes up, it is really more so about your letting go of past relationships and things that no longer serve you. So it could be a relationship, it could be a job, it could be you have one foot right now. You might have one foot in your old world, but it's really like it's an invitation to get used to living with one foot in your old world and one foot in your new. There's no going back to the way things once were for you, and what will be is not yet fully here. So you're kind of in a straddling phase in your life. You must find a delicate balance that can bring you more delight as you think about the beautiful things of your past and all your memories, along with the awe as you glimpse the astonishing, exciting future of your life. So it's really sharing with you that sometimes we focus on I had to let go of this as if it's a bad thing. But think about all the beautiful memories that you have, because what you focus on expands. So if you focus on the beauty and the awe of what you had in your past, it will also allow you to see the beauty and awe in your future. And so you're like, yes, I had a beautiful past. I'm moving forward to a beautiful future is what I hear you can say in terms of an affirmation for yourself. But don't wait to move. Don't wait for applause to move. You're being encouraged to move on quietly, humbly, invisible to others. So when this card comes up, it's an invitation for you to begin not only a new chapter, but a new book in your life. Not a new chapter, but a whole new book. So do not break the news to anyone, though. Let people be surprised as you reinvent yourself. Make sure you are not just a slight improvement, more polished version, but you are going to birth yourself as someone who is truly original. Do not feel like you have to explain yourself or be understood by anyone. If you don't tell anybody, then you don't have to worry about explaining who you're going to be. You will just show up as that person. You will become a mystery even to yourself. So gaze into the mirror one morning and be pleasantly surprised that, wow, this is who I've become now. Okay? Straddling Worlds invites you to become a true wizard, not one who performs magic tricks, but one who has mastered the dance between the visible and the invisible worlds, between the realms of form and formlessness. You are the birther of new ideas, of original and sustainable ways of being in the world. You are going on, and this is so funny because it's almost like 1, 2, and 3, especially 2. Go back and look at pile number 2 because it may or may not resonate with you. But it was talking about leaving the old behind, and the file number 1 was talking about, in a sense, a chronological journey of your life. So with this, it's like you're leaving the old, you're coming into the new, but as you develop this new person, you don't tell anybody. Like, you don't have to tell anybody, this is what I'm working on. I'm working on losing 16 pounds, or I'm working on losing this. I need a partner to go with me. Like, you don't really need an accountability partner. People do that because they feel like they don't trust themselves to do it. But I was reading a book. It's called The Mamba Mentality by Kobe Bryant. And he was talking about how he just would put on blinders. He would set up a schedule for himself. And if he messed up that day, it's okay. And so there's my dog barking. So that's a spirit confirmation there, that maybe you need to look at, look at ways to just quietly every day improve on what you're doing. And after a while, like if you add 2 more hours to your day by saying, okay, I'm going to wake up an hour earlier, or I'm going to wake up 2 hours earlier, and I'm going to focus on this before everybody else gets up. And then that way, that's one way that you can keep what you're doing a secret. Not that you have to keep it so secret that nobody knows, but people are like, what are you doing? You'd be like, girl, I'm just working on me. That's how you can do it. I'll tell you once I figure it out, and I'll be happy to share. But that's all you really have to say. And if people try to pry a little bit more, you can say, yo, look, please respect my boundaries, or you at least know that that's not somebody you need to be around. But if you don't even share with anybody what you're doing, you know, the only thing you do is somebody says, oh, what are you doing? You look like you've lost weight. What are you doing? The only thing that you can say is, I'm living my life. That's all I'm doing. Just living my life. Living my life. That's a great answer. I'm just living my life. And say it with love. So that's what that's a loving message that the divine wants you to know. Look at your past with love and look at your future with love. Because what's happening for you is you are now being called to embark on a sacred journey. And this is probably what you need to be quiet about. You must enter into the darkest forest of your soul via a route as yet unidentified to find what you seek. The things that you've set up for yourself, like manicured paths. And so I'm going to hang on one second. Here's the funny thing about the unmarked trail. Okay. The funny thing about the unmarked trail is that the unmarked trail, the sky bridge, possibility for union, and the herald of change, all of these, this talks about moving in secrecy. This talks about moving in silence, moving in silence, moving in silence. They all talk about moving in silence. And then at the end, this is talking about your herald of change, right? With the unmarked trail, basically what this card coming up as it has is just sharing. When this card comes up, I should say, this is just saying that you already know that currently the path that you're on has no reward for you at the end. And you are just killing time trying to make whatever path you were going down before, trying to make that work. So it will only bring you temporary pleasure and later great pain. What you're being asked to do is to pause, breathe, and commit in your heart to a new endeavor, to not look for old solutions that may have worked for you with past challenges, to get out of character, which is why I think you probably need to see pile number 2. So go back and look at pile number 2. Get out of character, try the outrageous, and keep your quest private. Keep this new quest private. Again, this is another thing that the divine is telling you, that to embrace or not talk bad about your past life, but just embrace your new venture or your new adventure. Because now is not the time to speak of the voices that called you to embark on the unmarked trail. The time will come when you can share this stuff, but right now you're really being asked to venture on this journey alone. And what I mean by that is alone with your mouth. Like, you don't have to share outside with everybody what the divine has told you and what new journey you need to embark on. This unmarked trail can be a sign that you already have made a choice, even if you do not want to acknowledge it to the public. Be at peace with what your heart knows to be true. Your heart has already been made up, and your mind will follow. Once your heart has been made up, your mind will follow. Pack lightly, taking with you only essential beliefs that you know to be trustworthy under all circumstances. And just remember that the divine has your back, that the universe and everything is conspiring to be able to help you get to this new place. The sky bridge that has come up is really a indication whenever this comes up, and it says possibility for union, what needs to be connected and disconnected. So this is a card sharing with you what needs to be connected and disconnected. And the reminder, I keep feeling like I need to share with you that this is talking about a divine jeweled web of connectivity that is going to be, that is the overall theme for all of these readings, is how we all connect as a jeweled web of connectivity. And this is just talking about how just because you're leaving something behind, it doesn't make it bad or good. It just means that it's not where you're ultimately purposed to stay. Your purpose in this life is to move forward towards whatever the divine has planned for you. This sky bridge comes when the moment is absolutely right for a quantum leap. Life believes you are ready, even if you don't agree. So God is saying you're ready. Remember not to confuse your true state of readiness with your plans and preparation, because sometimes we can prepare and plan, and we think we have to have our plans all in order before we begin. And I have this magnet that says leap and the net will appear. Let me grab that. Hang on one second. I'm getting this magnet for you so you can see it. But it's leap and the net will appear. That's a Zen saying, it says. So definitely, I always have that where I look at it when it's time for me to do something that I don't necessarily feel like, okay, well, the opportunity has come. Am I prepared for it? I may or may not be. But the thing is just to remember to not confuse your true state of readiness with your plans and preparation. So respond with a determined yes and let the universe take care of the details. All you have to do is say yes to the opportunity, and the universe will take care of everything else. You need only hold on to your positive affirmation, and the way will become obvious as you take flight and clear the abyss. I feel like this is like a brand new portal that's opening up towards your divine destiny. So you're going, the sky bridge, it's almost like this whole thing is opening up. This is like a unmarked trail of revelation for you. And as you go along, you're going to come to this possibility to have a union with, I guess, it's not necessarily just a union of two people. It can be a union of your self with your true self, your ability to reach a goal for yourself. That is the most important thing, is to really know that this whole mask of who you think you used to be or who you felt like you should be for everyone else needs to be taken off, and you go down the path of your true heart's desire. And that is and the only thing you have to say is, yes, I'm ready. And once you say to yourself, yes, I'm ready, everything will show up for you. True path to the divine, and the divine is love. And that is what you're saying yes to, but only you know in your heart what that is. It's different for everybody. So whatever this possibility for union is for you, you know what that is. When the horseman appears, he is inviting you to spread the good news. Everyone already knows the bad news. Your task is to point out the beautiful when others see only the ugly. Note the possible, no matter how implausible it may seem. It's your job to note the possibility of what can happen. This does not mean becoming giddy or blindly optimistic, but rather reminding yourself that every storm cloud has a silver lining. Become a herald of the positive. A herald is like a news reporter or somebody who shouts out or rides, and like the British are coming. That was something here in America when during the British Revolution, that there was somebody who, I think it was Paul Revere, who rode out on his horse to say the British are coming. That's like a herald. A herald for change can also be just a voice of change. So for some of you, you may be someone who needs to use your voice a lot, which is why this is probably telling you that you don't need to use your voice to share with people. Oh, I'm embarking on a new journey. Not right now. Now is just time for you to say yes and allow things to unfold. Once they unfold for you, that's when you will become the horseman of change or the herald of positive. Put away the fatalistic attitude, the dire predictions, the dreadful expectations about the world or about your life. Proclaim that you have risen from the realms of the dead, woken from a long, dreadful slumber, and are back on the world stage. The show is on again. The horseman cautions you to not allow your exuberance to become hollow or trivial. Be sure that there is substance to the news you spread, and you are willing to live up to the expectations you raise. The world will welcome you with open arms as you share an uplifting message. You are a messenger for the divine to show that there is love. So the possibility for union with you is your connection with the divine. I'm not saying that it's not a union with, someone in your life, but really to me, it's more of a connectedness of God's love for you. And once you are able to spread that out, because see, look at this. It's almost like there's a light behind this herald, this horseman that's going out and being the herald for change. It's almost like there is a light, a divine light. So you're going out to spread this divine love that you have connected with. Because everything you've been doing in the past, it's it's not, it could be a job that's no longer serving you. Heed the horseman when he shows up. When he shows up once, for he bears good news and is announcing a prosperous and peaceful time. When he shows up twice in the same reading, though, use extreme caution. So this has only showed up once for you. So this is just saying that there's good news and an announcement, and that the world will welcome you with open arms as you share your uplifting message, pile number 3. So let's hear what some of the messages are for you. What is this about? Clear yourself. Ask the angels to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed. Wow. On your journey, you're being asked to clear yourself. Ask the angels to clear your heart and release any toxic energies. Books. Your life purpose involves writing, reading, editing, or selling spiritually based books. And for some of you, it's reading the Word of God out loud, writing books, and or sharing. If you get nervous while you're out there, focus on service. Put your entire intention on answering the question, how can I make the world a better place? And the law of attraction will automatically take care of your needs. Again, this is speaking to this whole saying yes to your new journey. When you say yes to your new journey, your entire intention when it comes to answering how can I make the world a better place, and you're speaking about all of the good things that's going on in the world, and you're being the example of love and not of hate or war or violence. But it's your role specifically to ask the divine or connect with the divine about how can you make the world a better place. And the law of attraction will automatically take care of your needs. People call it the law of attraction. It's also your connection with the divine. The universe will just make the steps happen. Your thing is just to say, yes, I'm willing to say, or willing to ask, or willing to move forward with it. And that is when your life will change. Also, for some of you, get crystals to help you on your journey. I just actually happen to have this the chakra bracelet that I got, which I think is really cool. But whatever you need, whether it's a bracelet, a necklace, or any kind of crystals that you have around you, just kind of look in to see how that can help you on your journey. And finally, workshops and seminars. So you're going to be teaching people, attending, teaching, or giving speeches, which is talking about the word, heralding the good news. That is your purpose. Herald is part of your spiritual path and purpose, is to be open to teaching and learning. Okay? All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And finally, oh wow, be willing to forgive. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for your peacefulness. Again, clear yourself. That's coming up again. Be willing to forgive people. Clear yourself. Ask the angels to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed, and also ask them to clear your mind and body of any past pain in exchange for peacefulness, so that you can go off and be the herald of change. If you're wondering which cards I use, they are in the description box, as well as any links for anything in terms of private readings, if that is your desire. Everything is in the description box, and I will not reach out to you unless I will just comment, just regular comments. But if you want to, my email address and everything that you would need is right there in the description box. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Have a blessed and wonderful day.